Hello, boys and girls. Welcome to the Cool Kids Lunch Table Podcast with PJ and Mike. Now find yourself a seat at their table.
Hello and welcome to this week's episode of the Cool Kids Lunch Table Podcast with PJ and Mike. I'm PJ.
And I'm Mike.
And we're doing another list. We get a lot of good comments on our list episodes, so we thought we would do one more. So we are going to go with the best female villains of all time. We'll each do our own list, and then as we've done in the past, we're going to combine it to make the ultimate best female villain list.
Yeah, and folks at home, these are females from all mediums, so it's movies, cartoons, TV shows, everything. Okay.
Everything. Comic books, just everything.
Exactly.
So there will be an array of different types of characters. So what do we think? I have a list of top 10, and then you have your list, and then we'll combine for the top 10?
Yes.
All right. You want to go first?
Yeah, sure. So, folks at home, I guess some of my picks maybe this might be an untraditional choice, but I'm going to say Jenny from Forrest Gump.
That's a good pick.
Because she's
awful.
She's just, love is blindness, man. And I know obviously she went through a lot of trauma, Jenny. Man.
Yeah, but she really does treat that guy like shit.
Every time you saw her pop up, there was a part of you that just had a little sense of dread. Like, oh, here comes trouble. So I have Jenny.
That is a fantastic choice.
Yep.
My 10 spot is Cruella de Vil.
Yeah.
I mean, she's just going around killing puppies and skinning them and wearing their clothes. I mean, how do you not put her on the list? I think she's one of the most evil Disney villains, female or not. I think she's one of the most evil Disney villains.
Absolutely. Mm-hmm. And I think, did you ever see the movie Cruella?
I love that movie. That movie's really good.
Right. I guess it's a different spin. I guess it's like a different version. It's
not
the one that
it's like the origin of Cruella de Vil, and Emma Stone is in it. It's really good. The soundtrack is great. Banger after banger.
I heard a lot of folks say that.
And the movie was done well. It's probably one of the best live action remake sort of movies that Disney has done. Check it out. You'll like it.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Mm-hmm. Nice. For my next pick, this movie for me, it's one of the most intense movies I've ever seen. It's Amy Dunn, which is the character from Gone Girl. That's by David Fincher. That's with Rosamund Pike. All I can say is, obviously people know David Fincher. That's going to be like, Fight Club, Seven, Zodiac. And this movie it's based off a book. And let me tell you something, man. This girl is, and I don't want to spoil the movie because it's really good, but her husband in the movie is Ben Affleck, and she goes missing. She's the Gone Girl. But obviously there's more to that. And man.
That's a good movie.
And he's a flawed character, and she's very, I'll just say she's very disturbed, folks. And she did a great job. I think she actually wasn't even nominated for an Oscar, which is wild. Don't quote me on that, but I'm pretty sure she was. I don't know who won that year. That was like 2012. So I want to say somewhere around there.
I can't believe that movie was that long ago. It feels like it's not that old.
Yeah, and the movie still looks great.
It looks
shot
great.
Well. It's just, awesome movie. Definitely recommend it. Very intense. Definitely don't watch it where kids around. That movie is super intense, really good. And yeah, when you see her, her character, man, there is a real sense of dread, even like almost a sense of paranoia. Like, oh man, I hope I don't meet someone like her in real life, date her. What do you got next, Mr. PJ?
I put Nurse Ratched on my list from One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. She is just so cold and treats those people that are there for real issues so badly, and like in real life, you would imagine if someone was like this, they couldn't possibly keep that job. But just what she puts those people through in that movie, that's actually one of my all-time favorite movies, One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. My favorite scene in that movie, which doesn't really have to do with Nurse Ratched, other than the fact that she drove them to this point, is when Jack Nicholson, he tries to rip like the water fountain off the ground, and he's like, I'm gonna rip it, I'm gonna throw it through the window and get out of here. And he can't do it, and all the other patients are watching him do it, and he can't, and he just turns around, he's like, well, at least I tried, god damn it. And then later on in the movie, Chief is able to do. I think that movie is maybe top 5 movies of all time. It's so excellent.
No question.
And just
so good.
And her character in that is so evil. I never got to watch the Nurse Ratched show just about her that they did. I forget. It was a streamer.
Wow. I didn't know that did that.
Just a show on her. And I didn't get a chance to watch it. At some point I might, but it's basically her origin as to how she became that bitchy of a nurse. And I will watch it at some point, but I was afraid it's going to just ruin that movie for me, and that's why I didn't watch it.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think that I can't think of that actress's name, but she did win an Oscar for that
She
performance.
deserves it.
Yeah, that movie's so good.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, you hated her. You know, she's so belittling and
Hmm.
manipulative and
I had a
gaslighting.
boss that had that same tone of voice, and I was just
Yeah,
like, oh God.
right. Yikes. Yeah, PJ was about to throw his own water fountain through.
Yeah.
But next ones, I don't have much to say. I just remember as a kid, this is a cartoon, folks, and I feel like this it's a Disney villain. This Disney villain doesn't actually get enough credit just for being dreadful, in my opinion. Lady Tremaine, that's from
Mm.
Cinderella. I
Hmm.
just feel like, man, the design of that character, her face, her voice. Of course, she had the cat
Yep.
Lucifer, but like she was just like, man. Everyone talks about the Queen from Maleficent or whatever. Her name,
Yeah.
what is it? Sleeping Beauty, but I don't know, as a kid, man, I hated her. Every time she came on screen, I was like, oh man, I thought she was gonna like kill Gus Gus. You know what I mean? Kill all those birds. You know, she was just dreadful, man. Oh man, great character design. She didn't really get enough love, and she had those annoying daughters. The other, what's it, the or two stepsisters? I can't
Two.
remember.
Yeah, I think there were the three. I think there were three stepsisters.
Yeah,
Maybe it
they
was
were
two. I don't remember.
those.
But
Yeah, they were.
awful.
Yeah. Oh man, but I hated that character, man. Oh my god.
My next one, I don't know if you're gonna have this person on your list, but I think when I say it, I think you'll agree.
Yep.
Rita Repulsa.
Yes.
I know Power Rangers is goofy, right?
That's a
I
good
get it.
one. Yeah.
But first of all, she has a great name. Rita Repulsa is a fantastic villain name. Here's the thing that when you really think about Rita Repulsa, she knows who the Power Rangers are. So her main mission is to kill children. They're
Right.
teenagers,
Yeah.
right? So her whole thing is that she's actively trying to not only take over the world, but kill these kids while they do it. And she sets out these giant kaiju monsters all over Earth.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just think I think they used to have a name for her. It was she's like something of evil, mistress of evil, prince, something like that. I forget what it was, something like that they used to call her in the show. And I think also that character in Power Rangers and the TV show, not the movie. I know they did the reboot, and I forget who played her. Famous person. I can't think of who it is.
Was it Elizabeth Banks?
Yes, Elizabeth Banks.
Okay.
Not that version, although I think she actually did a good job in that movie. I don't know. I just feel like she doesn't get enough credit as for what she did for that show. That show was the most popular children's show for I don't know how many years. And these shows are only as good as the villains. If you don't care about who the heroes are fighting, you're not going to watch the show. So for that show to be as popular as it was and to take over, I mean, it took over mainstream. Like it was everywhere. There were Power Rangers walking around outside of karate schools trying to get people to sign up. And I think her character was a big part of that. That's why I put her on the list.
Yeah, that's a great choice, PJ. I love that choice. And which is really cool is like, you're going to hear me say this a lot, all these characters we're talking about is like the sense of dread. And like her voice was so unpleasant. It was like, you could almost hear the actress. I think she was actually dubbed.
But, I think so too.
She was all like I just remember like, I feel like the voice must have like, man, her vocal cords and her neck muscles have been so strained. I feel like every muscle and vein was popping out of her head.
She really gave it a roll on her performance.
And VJ, I know though, if I remember correctly, I think later on in the season she actually marries Lord Zed, who I love that villain. And I think he got fed up with her. He ended up banishing her. That's how dreadful she is.
That's how awful she is.
So for my number 4 pick, I love this movie. Her name is Love from the movie Blade Runner 2049, and that character's name is Sylvia Hopps. But yeah, in that movie, man, you just hate her. She actually kills Jenny from Forrest Gump. She's in that movie, Robin Wright. But she is sorry, spoiler alert. But yeah, I mean, this movie, you hate her, man. It's funny, and of course, her name is Love. It's like, of course, you hate someone, and her name was Love, of course, and which I think really was a good touch. Denis Villeneuve directed it. You know what, PJ, I'm going to do a spoiler. I'm going to do a spoiler for that film. So sorry, folks. When Ryan Gosling's character kills Love, it feels great. It just feels great. Man, she was dreadful, man. Really great movie, and she is just, like I said, that's like you said, PJ, kind of like Nurse Ratched and Repulsa. When you see them on the screen, you're just like, oh, no.
They do such a good job of making you want to see the hero win.
Yep.
And that's the sign of a good villain, right? If they make you want to see the hero win. And all of them so far have done this. The next on my list is bit out of left field. I doubt she'd be on your list, but I do think one of the best TV characters of all time and TV villains of all time, Sue Sylvester from Glee.
I don't never seen the show, but okay. Sue, okay.
I like that show. I'm not ashamed to say that I like to watch the show about singing. I actually recently rewatched the whole show.
Wow.
Maybe
Okay.
last year I must have rewatched it.
I know it's
I
like
binged
somewhat
through.
of a musical kind of thing,
Yeah,
right?
it's about a high school glee club, right? And then
Hmm.
the show is about how they get picked on in school because they're the glee club, and
Yeah.
the main antagonist is Sue Sylvester. She is the cheerleader coach, and she's basically
Oh.
just a bully, like a jock bully as the coach, and she puts everyone down. She's always trying to get the glee club canceled and steal their money to use for her budget and the cheerleaders.
Yeah.
The reason she's on the list is that she is a very cruel character to these other students, to the other faculty. She does such a great job of portraying the character. What's her name? Jane Lynch does a really good job, but there's also a very sympathetic side to that character and a good side. And they do a good job of weaving that in so that just when you're about to hate her as much as you can, you realize she's actually a good person. She's been hurt so many times, and that this is like her defense mechanism. And you start to feel for her. And then they'll give you like a whole season where she's not evil and she's not the villain.
Yeah.
And then they just flip it on its head again on the next season. And you go right back and you're like, she got me. I got played by the show. They do
Right.
such a good job with that. And she's so talented. She can sing, she can dance, she can act. She's just great. I really think she's one of the best TV characters of all time.
Yeah, nice, PJ. That's a great choice. My next, I'll do this one next. Not really, all I can say is I think it's like a kind of forgotten movie now. So in the movie To Die For with Nicole Kidman, she plays a news reporter named Suzanne Stone Moretto, and Joaquin Phoenix is in it. He's young, very young at the time. She basically, it's almost kind of like Gone Girl. She basically, I think she get, I don't know, I'm actually forgetting myself. I'm actually getting confused. There's like it's almost like her husband, I think her husband gets murdered or she gets murdered, but she's just so manipulative in that film, and she uses her sex appeal, her looks, so manipulative, narcissistic, and she was great in that movie, Nicole Kidman, and she's just an awful character, and that fakeness too. I think every bit there's a sense of fakeness, like a phony baloney kind of thing. So she really does that really well. So yes. To Die For, and it's a cool movie. Like I said, I think it's kind of a forgotten '90s gem.
My next one is a long-running character from a cartoon series that isn't on anymore, but I'm sure everyone would know the name. Natasha Badnov from Rocky and Bullwinkle.
Oh,
yeah. So Boris and Natasha. That show obviously is an older cartoon. It relied very heavily on people being afraid of Russian spies at that time because of the Cold War and the Soviets and everything. And they're unsuccessful in every attempt to be evil.
Yeah.
But she always talks about the fearless leader that they report to. And I just think she's like an iconic character. I think Rocky and Bullwinkle, in general, the show, all of the characters in there, Rocky, Bullwinkle, Boris, and Natasha, and even some of the other characters, like when they would do Aesop's Fables and Mr. Peabody was a short, Sherman and Peabody was a short on Rocky and Bullwinkle. I think that show has earned its place in pop culture history as being iconic.
Yeah.
Again, when you're in an iconic show, it makes you an iconic character, and everyone knows who Natasha Badnov and Boris Badnov are because of how their characters were written, how the voice actors perform them, the designs of those characters, the fact that they're kind of bumbling makes them fun, and they're bad guys and they're evil, but they're also lovable because of the way they're portrayed. And I think Rocky and Bullwinkle is due for a reboot of some sort.
Yeah, that's true.
I think it really would play well in today's climate because it could be political the way it was a political show back then with the Russians. It could still be political now with Russians. Fearless leader is now Putin.
Right. Yeah.
And it plays into the current political climate. I think it would be great to have a show like that come back and be a social commentary. But anyway, Natasha Badnov is my next pick.
And just her design too of her character, just the way she looks. She has like her hand always on her hip.
Yep.
The hair, the eyes. It's really just her silhouette and everything. Yeah, just oozes like villain. She's almost like the like. You can almost like Jessica Rabbit's not a villain. She's like a femme fatale, but like almost have the same body. Yeah, that whole kind of really good. So PJ, I'm going to the animation station right now, and I just there's two different characters. I'm just doing them as a team. They're not in the same show, but they're both from Nickelodeon. PJ. Okay. So one is Helga G. Pataki.
Ooh, Helga.
And the other one is Angelica Pickles.
Okay.
from Rugrats. Those two, I mean, man, I'll just start with Helga, from Hey Arnold. Her character was like a big bully, yelling at everybody. She had that eyebrow that was just like one kind of like a unibrow, getting mad,
Yeah.
and then like you said, behind closed doors, kind of like your Glee character. She's madly in love with Arnold.
There's that shrine.
Yes, 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 with all the gum and everything
Yeah.
like that. And I think she takes a locket of her hair at one point, his hair. But move it, football head. Like classic, like you would love
Yeah.
with someone you bully them. But I mean, she
Yeah.
really, and she never let off the gas. I don't know. I
No,
don't know
she
if in the later
didn't.
seasons if they kissed or something. I don't know. I think they did. I have no clue. But yeah, that dedication to that facade, like I said,
Yep.
that fakeness of just she did not let it go. And then Angelica from Rugrats, woo, man,
She hated those babies.
yeah, when she came rolling in, man, it was just nuts. She had Cynthia in her hand, so manipulative and like bullying, making all their anxiety spikes, Chucky's anxiety spikes. This poor kid, and she's just bratty, whining. I think that one episode, I think she gets sick, and I think Tommy's dad, Stu, has to like babysit her.
Yeah.
And he's like, he has to keep making her chocolate pudding or something. He's like making sure like 4 in the morning just to make that kid happy. And and her, she's just really a product of a reminder. Both her parents enabled her. But yeah, Angelica, I was so happy too when like I guess like the antidote to Angelica was Susie.
Yes.
So whenever you saw Susie, you're like, oh, she's coming to the rescue. Like she wouldn't put up with that crap. But yeah, I put those two together just because they're Nickelodeon. I love those characters. So good.
My favorite episode of that show is when they become adults, but not the actual adult show. The one where they're like the baby heads on the adult body.
Yeah.
And he's like, I don't want any sponsorbilities.
Yeah.
Me either, Tommy Pickles. I also don't want any sponsorbilities.
Yeah, and then they need to punch out. They literally like have to punch the clock with their fists. Like it's so good. What do you got next, Mr. PJ?
My next one is not a lovable animated cartoon child, but instead an evil queen, Cersei from Game of Thrones.
Okay, yeah.
She is just responsible for so much of the chaos that went down in Westeros on that show and the destruction of it. She's manipulative. She'll use her own kids to advance her own vicious plots and ideas and doesn't really care about what happens to anybody. I think she was a great character on that show. And the actress, Lena Headey.
I was just looking it up. Okay, yeah. She was in, I think she's in 300. I think in. Yeah, she is
such a great actress. Mm-hmm. And there's that one scene where they shame her and she's walking down the street and they're like, shame with the bell. And memorable moments with her in the show. I just think she's a great actress. Everything she's in, she was great, like you said, in 300. She was great in that too. She is a fantastic actor and would like to see her in more things. But I think she's the best villain in Game of Thrones. I mean, there's a lot of bad people on that show, and a lot of people teeter back and forth. And they're a bad person in this situation, but a hero in this situation. And I just feel like she was evil straight through. She's one of the few characters on that show that you start off hating her and you end hating her.
Yeah. Good choice. My next. So I have another duo. They don't work. They're from the same franchise.
Okay.
But I put them together. Bellatrix Lestrange and Dolores Umbridge from Harry. Yep. Oh my God, folks at home. Sometimes I feel like Harry Potter gets a lot of love. Sometimes I feel like not enough. I mean, like I feel like that whole entire series doesn't get enough. Those are 8 films, but anyway, those two, man. When they enter the screen, you're like, oh, here comes trouble, here comes madness, here comes death, basically. Something bad's going to happen. I mean, you have Bellatrix, which is Helena Bonham Carter. She just plays just a wicked psychopath. I mean, they're both psychopaths, but I think it's the 7th film, the Deathly Hallows Part 1, I think is a part where she's torturing Hermione. And they say that there's a clip, maybe they have on the DVD extras, I don't know, but actually they decided not to put into it because they said it was too intense, when she was torturing Hermione. I think they do it off screen, you hear her screaming.
Right.
But she plays this, and obviously, like, I'm spoiling here, but when she, like, murders, Harry's godfather, and she's, right after she's taunting him, she's, like, teasing Harry. He's a kid, Harry Potter's only, like, 14 in the movie, his character. She's teasing him. She just murdered his godfather right in front of him, and Sirius Black. She's like teasing this dude. I mean, rub it in his face. I mean, no regret. And she worships, you know, the king of all psychos in that movie is, you know, Voldemort, who was trying to kill a baby.
Yeah.
Harry Potter was a baby, so he's no, so she adores him, you know. And in the play, the lost child, the one that's on, I saw it, I can't remember the name, but she has a child with Voldemort. So I mean, she's like I said, and then Dolores Umbridge. Oh my God, folks.
She's evil. I think she's more evil.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. And folks at home, like, I mean, when she's the one who wears like the pink suit. She's just man, just awful. I mean, she tortures
She just
the
gets
kids.
right under your right.
Yes, yeah, just the way she speaks. And that actress, I wrote it down. What's her name? Imelda Staunton. She just owns that character. I mean, like you said, PJ, she just embodies just torture. I mean, she physically, you know, hurts the kids with spells and everything.
Yeah.
She's just like, oh, just a bitch, man. So more than, like you said, more than Bellatrix. I mean, both of them. But woo, those two, forget about it. Mm-hmm.
All right, my next one. I think this counts.
Mm-hmm.
The Queen Xenomorph.
Queen. Oh yeah,
Right, from Alien.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I don't have much to say, but I mean, she's terrifying.
Yep.
Terrifying.
Ugly.
Just ugly, terrifying, gross as a killing machine.
Yeah.
Exists only to bring terror into the hearts of the people that watch that movie.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, there's no redeeming quality about any of the aliens, especially the Queen. It's just that character was designed to just be scary, evil, death, and it works. And I mean, those movies are great. Those first couple of Aliens movies are great. And I mean, there's not much you could say about her. I don't know if she's a character. Queen Xenomorph is more of a plot device than a character.
Yes.
But you know, it's the movie works because of the Queen.
Yes. Yeah. She's so huge. She's
just big.
They're always wet and drooling all over the place.
Gross and nasty. Yeah.
My God. I'm trying to think which one is the one they have her in chains. Is that which one is that? Alien versus I don't know. At one point,
I don't know which one it is.
She's like in chains.
Yeah.
You know, and like she breaks free. Yeah, I think it is Alien versus Predator. My next one is another duo, PJ. Now, PJ, I'm curious what this is comic book characters.
Okay.
I just put them together. I'm sure they work together at some point. It's Harley Quinn and Catwoman. I just feel both these two, you know, I'll start with Catwoman. You never know what side she's on. You know, you can't trust her. You know, obviously there's a sex appeal to her, so it's like one of those things.
It's like a femme fatale sort of thing. Yeah.
You're just like, you know, is this? And there's like the thing where it's like it's almost like I don't know all the backstories and all the I'm sure there's different, you know, storylines where Batman dated her, but I'm sure, man, she's just you know, she's she's just like the tunnel to Heartbreak City. You can't date a woman like that. And she's just, like I said, you can't trust her. And, you know, she's going to be selfish at the end of the day, but just a really great villain. That evil, I'm not sure I would call her evil, but a great villain, an honorable villain, maybe you could say. And then Harley, I mean, like you say, she's a nut job, you know, as much as she's
crazy.
Bubbly. Yeah. I mean, crazy in love. You know, I think she's one of those people. I think if you ever dated a girl who could be maybe potentially Harley Quinn, who's very infatuated with you. And I know the storyline where she breaks free, blah, blah, blah. But, I mean, just her, like, love is blindless, man. That could be not good.
Yeah.
You know, obviously Joker, he can handle it, but if she were to fall in love with say like a somewhat stable guy, you know, she could be quite overwhelming.
Yeah. I actually was going to group, I have 3 people left and I was going to group them together and do them all in one shot. And actually my next 3 were Poison Ivy,
perfect. Yes,
Catwoman, and Harley Quinn.
Wow. Yeah.
So yeah. The Gotham City Sirens, they have their own comic book together where they do bad things together, right? Exactly what you said about Catwoman. She's cunning, she's dangerous, she's mysterious, she's a thief, she's a heartbreaker. You can't trust her. And despite all of that, Batman still is madly in love with her and tried to marry her, and they were supposed to get married in a terrible ending to that storyline, but whatever. I just think she is, when you think of Batman villains, when you think of like superhero villains in comic books, you immediately go to the Batman villains or the Spider-Man villains. Like those are the 2 groups. Because they have, I think, out of all the comic book characters, they have the best villains.
Oh,
and then when you start thinking about Batman's villains, within the first 5 names you list, you will list Catwoman. She's been there from very close to the beginning of the character being created, and she's lasted the test of time. She's been in every incarnation, too. She's been in the Adam West Batman show. Yep. She was in the Tim Burton series. She's in the every version of the animated series. She's in, you know, she keeps showing up. She's in the what's his face? The Christian Bale movies. Anne Hathaway does a great job. Then they bring her back again when Matt Reeves does his version. Like, there is never a shortage of Catwoman showing up in these films and these cartoons because she is such a great character. Harley Quinn was created for the animated series in the early 90s. And from that has just spinned off into her own thing because she's so popular of a character. And she, like you said, she's crazy. But not only is she super crazy and chaotic, she's also super, super smart. Yeah. People forget that she's a doctor. She's a psychologist. And people forget that she's not just crazy killing machine. She's not just, eye candy. She is very, very smart. And there are times in the cartoons, they've even shown it, where she can beat Batman, but doesn't because she doesn't want the Joker to, go after her for being the one to do it. I think she's great. And then Poison Ivy, I think she gets overlooked sometimes in terms of comic book villains, but she can control people. She was able to control Superman and make him turn evil and fight Batman with her pheromones and all the other bullshit that she does. I like when they pair her up with Harley. They do that a lot, and it's fine. It's good for representation, but it makes for a good story. I don't think Uma Thurman was terrible.
Yeah, I think
as her when she was Poison Ivy in the movies, I think she did a good enough job based on what they gave her to do. I mean,
no one can save that script, but I think she had the look, she had the everything. Yeah,
she looked exactly like she stepped out of the page, so that was cool. I think she gets overlooked, but I think her powers can really do some damage. You can control the plant life. I think she's a great character, so I put my 3, 2, and 1 are combined, but as the Gotham City Sirens.
All right. For me, I just have my last two. I have the Wicked Witch of the West from the original Wizard of Oz, and I think, I don't know how maybe little kids today, they still see the OG, But I mean, she's just been, when you think of even now, this maybe a woman you don't like at work or something, like, oh man, she's a witch. You know what I mean? Like that's what you think of, man.
Yeah, it's true.
And like someone you just spy up. It's like, man, it's so part of our world. But yeah, she's just, like I said, and she's just her voice. I mean, it's been talked about so much, and I think that character and that actress was hated so much that Mr. Rogers actually had that woman on the show just be like, she's actually just a character. I mean, this is just an actress. She's not real, folks. So,
right.
She kind of helped Mr. Rogers help people through trauma.
Wow. Mr. Rogers is a great guy.
Yep. And last I have is Annie Wilkes from Misery, Stephen King film, and she is just, I mean, she won an Oscar for that, Kathy Bates. I mean, her character is awful. I mean, just psycho. I mean, she for crying out loud, she breaks his ankles with a sledgehammer. And just her. I think someone who's very crazy or deranged will says things that are deranged, like this cockamamie papa poop. She's getting pissed, and just that one part of the film when spoiling it here, folks. I mean, this movie's been out for over 30 years now, but when he tries to escape initially the first time, he knocks over one of her figurines, the little penguin. That's when she breaks his ankles, and she goes, my penguin always faces north. Of course, she exactly says, but man, that sense of dread. And when she finally gets hers at the end, man, it's so good. And then that last, which I love, is the last part of that film where he's talking about, even though she's gone, you never really forget Annie Wilkes, and they do that split with the waitress. So good, so good. But PJ, we have the really difficult task of doing our top 10 now.
Well, I'll tell you who definitely needs to be on that list is Jenny from Forrest Gump. She's somewhere on there.
All right, so we have Jenny. Well, who do we think is our number one? Maybe it might be easiest. I think it's. I mean, for me, it's either got to be maybe Nurse Ratched, man. I mean, I don't know. Well, Annie Wilkes.
I mean, is it just Catwoman? Because she's the most iconic. I think out of everyone on the list, she's the most iconic. I think she finds her way onto the list one way or the other.
You know what? I think we'll put it at number one because we say female villains, the average person is gonna say Catwoman. Yep. All right. So we'll put Catwoman as number one. Okay, that's fair. Maybe Wicked Witch of the West, number two.
Yeah.
Just for terrorizing people for years.
Yeah. All right.
We have Dolores Umbridge. Where should we put her?
I definitely think out of the two Harry Potter, Dolores is the one I would pick. Do we think she's more or less evil than Nurse Ratched?
I think less evil.
Less evil? Oh, yeah. So then maybe what are we up to, number 3? So maybe we do Nurse Ratched as 3 and Dolores as 4?
All right, so now we have the last 6, and we still have Ginny in there. Jenny, I keep calling her Jenny.
We gotta put her in there. I think she might go next. She's just the worst. Do we want to put Cruella de Vil for killing all those dogs? All right.
So she's at number 6. Okay.
Okay.
Looking at both back at our lists here.
Yeah.
I think we have to put Amy Dunn from Gone Girl. I mean, she was quite terrifying.
Yeah. That's a good pick. Absolutely.
So we got 3 more, PJ. Hey. All right.
Let's see. Trying to remember who you had on your list.
I still have I think the ones who I think are worthy getting to this list. Maybe Love from Blade Runner 2049. I have the Helga or Angelica from your list. Maybe Rita Repulsa. I think she should be on here, man.
All right.
I think she should be on here. Where in the bottom 3, I'm not sure, but I think she's got to be on there because, like you said, she was terrorizing little kids.
Yeah,
like
really just going after high school students, teenagers with no remorse. We could throw her in there somewhere.
Angelica, maybe Angelica Pickles.
I think Angelica. So many spots do we have left?
And one more. So we have Rita Repulsa, Angelica, and one more. So what do we have here? Like I said, what's left on my list is oh my god, I don't even have Annie Wilkes from Misery.
I mean, the only other person on my list that I think would make the combined top 10 would be Natasha Badenoch, and I don't think she's more evil.
Yeah.
Well,
how about I think we got to definitely put Stephen King. We got to put a Stephen King on
yeah,
there.
absolutely.
How about we put her right behind Amy Dunn, Annie Wilkes, and then we say Rita and Angelica. Maybe Angelica at number 10, and then
number 10.
and then Rita Repulsa.
Okay.
All right, so folks, this is our top 10. Actually, this is one of our best ever top 10.
I think so too.
Actually, look more like the most legit ones. The other ones we had in the past are a little bit wacky and everything. But number 10, Angelica Pickles from Rugrats. Number 9, Rita Repulsa from Power Rangers. Number 8, Annie Wilkes from Misery. Number 7, Amy Dunn. That's the character from Gone Girl. Number 6, Cruella de Vil from 101 Dalmatians. Number 5, I think PJ's most feared character is Jenny from Forrest Gump.
She's throwing around hepatitis like it's nothing.
Yeah. Number 4, I can't read my own handwriting. What did we have from before? Oh, Dolores Umbridge, I'm sorry, from Harry Potter. Number 3, Nurse Ratched. Number 2, The Wicked Witch from Wizard of Oz. And number 1 is Catwoman.
So,
yeah, that's a worthy
good list.
PJ.
Yeah, that is a list of some evil villains.
Really good, and the best too, and the best. Yeah. I think when you're saying best villains, they gotta not just be evil, they gotta be multi-dimensional, and I think Catwoman really is all those. You can be, like we said.
I agree.
Nothing but trouble, and a heartbreaker, which might be the most hurtful thing, PJ.
She has broken Batman's heart.
Oh my god!
You know how evil you have to be to break Batman's heart.
I know. The only time his heart was ever broken was his parents died. So after that, to do it again, you gotta be real. You gotta be really something.
You gotta be a bitch.
Yeah.
And I think she's the best kind.
Yep. But yeah, folks, thanks for listening. Let us know who you're in your top 10 best female villains. Same time, same table.
Have a good one.
Boys and girls, lunchtime is over. For more information, visit their website at coolkidslunchtable.podbean.com. Follow the boys on all social media platforms. Just search Cool Kids Lunch Table Podcast. Now get to class before you get detention.